Hello Logic Language Learners. I'm sitting down today because, because I'm sitting down. I've been teaching all day, so I'm going to sit down for this video. So this is another essay guide video. Can I really stress to you guys though how all the information for this is completely relevant even if you're not studying for A-level. And I've got a guy I teach, a fantastic student called David, who was like, oh well, A-level is above me, and it's so not the case. Once you're starting to use all the different tenses in your expression, you're using some subjunctive, please, come on guys, it's A-level. So forget whatever you think about A-level being above you, that's just not the case. So, today's essay is on holidays, and you're going to understand the why. It's quite a simple essay title. It does come from a past paper, but it's really useful for you to learn that it's almost not about the topic, the subject of your essay. That's almost kind of not the point. You can express so much French and ideas and thoughts and what have you without even using the specific vocabulary that is pertinent to whatever topic. So let's have a look about how this works. So sometimes the simplest of essay titles is still an opportunity for you to really show off, and sometimes the most complicated question isn't actually that scary because a lot of the French you're using is talking about how you give and receive opinions. So, right, let's have a look. So, as per normal, if you like the video, can you please click like, can you please subscribe, and all the information will be written underneath in the description section. If you are watching the video on an iPad or an iPhone, it isn't always immediately obvious, so there's a little down arrow, normally to the right, just underneath this box, and you will see it. So, donnez votre opinion sur l'importance des vacances. Est-ce qu'il est question simplement de se relaxer en vacances? Pourquoi pas? Let's have a little look again at the question. So, donnez votre opinion sur l'importance des vacances. Give your opinion on the importance of holidays. Okay? Est-ce qu'il est question simplement de se relaxer en vacances? Is it simply a question? Pourquoi pas? So, vocab we can steal straight away. What can we do? What do we need to do? We look at the titles of essays and we think, right, is there any vocabulary I can get or check from that? So we've got l'importance is obviously a CE word, so it's going to be the same for most of the time. Vacances, remembering the S, yeah, the day vacances tells me it's plural plus the S. Est-ce qu'il est question simplement de se relaxer? So to relax, we've got different verbs there. In French, we have se détendre and se relaxer. So that's a great one to remind us that that exists. Okay? Pourquoi pas? So in terms of structure then, when I normally ask us to divide it into the structure, give your opinion on the importance of holidays is one category. Is it simply a question of relaxing? Yes or no? So we're kind of going to go with importance of holidays. Is it about relaxing? Is it not about relaxing? So straight away, before we even think of any French, get some ideas in your mind, because remember, what do we need to do? We need to get an introduction out of the way, and then we need to get a conclusion out of the way, and we need to divide the essay into the three. So what's the importance of holidays to you? So let's start thinking about this. When you are writing these essays, you have got all the options in the world. You can answer using je. So, je pense que je, or you can then straight away bring in language you already know when you've talked about your experiences. So, for example, last year you went on holiday. Okay, you would then be allowed to use that material. So, last year I went on holiday, I did this, and it was great because, and this is why I think holidays are this. So, even if it's not immediately obvious, you can bring in stuff you've done in other areas. Talking about your holiday last year is effectively talking about the importance of holidays, as long as you then tie it to the subject. Okay? Is it a question of relaxing? So what's great about relaxing? Talk about that. So think of buzzwords. You know, so we're often tired, spend time with family, calmly, Things that aren't relaxing. Do some sport, eat healthily, discover a culture, learn a language. Explore the old town where you're going. Okay, so just get these ideas in your head. Write one word or two words: old town, family, meals, language. Just get them in a circle. Then look at these words again and think, which is the one I could write about? Which are the ones I could write about for each section, okay? And then we'll have the essay divided nicely into the sections. Good, so let's look at what the exam board has provided as suggestions, and let's look at some of the vocabulary. So, the need to relax to combat stress. So let's talk about different ways of saying that first. So, need, as you know, is the verb, so le besoin de is the need, or nous avons besoin de, or j'ai besoin de. And like I was saying, the thing with essays is you can answer these questions using you, so you have to do this, vous. We could answer them using je, so I think, I have to do this. We can answer them using people often do this, therefore they need to, ils ont besoin de. So we, I, you. So the point is, perish the thought you weren't sure of the spelling of certain verbs, but you knew it in a different conjugation, so you knew first person, second person, whatever. It's really easy to get out of this. If you weren't sure on the vous form of a verb, you can take it back to a first person. So, je pense or tu penses, this kind of thing. So let's have a look. So the need to relax, combat stress, le besoin de se relaxer, like in the title, combattre le stress, go around it. So what's another way of saying the need to relax and combat stress? It's something you need to do when you are too stressed. Give me another version. C'est quelque chose que nous devons faire, ou vous devez faire, ou je dois faire, quand je suis, tu es, nous sommes, vous êtes trop stressé. What's the other thing I always like to teach? The family. What does the family mean? It means if you've got a word, you might not use the verb, you might not use the noun, you might not use the adjective, but you'll use one of them. So stress, you've got le stress, stressé, stressed, stressé, too stress, okay? The verb, ça me stresse. So you can either use one of those because you're not sure of the other one, or because you want to take it up a level. So yes, you know the word le stress. So you could use an active verb. So, de nos jours, nowadays, de nos jours, notre vie est très stressante. Our life is very stressful. Ou ma vie quotidienne me stresse. My daily life stresses me out. Donc, je trouve, whatever you're doing, or je suis très stressé. Whatever you're doing, find a different routing with the word and the verb and the noun and the same root. Okay. Enjoyment. So we don't know the word for enjoy, do we? So s'amuser, to enjoy oneself. Okay. So it's amusing. C'est amusant. Ça m'amuse. So if you don't know how to say I enjoy doing this, you can say doing this amuses me. So I enjoy riding horses. So je m'amuse quand je faire du cheval, faire de l'équitation, ça m'amuse. Little note on ça, ca. You can often in exam form swap ça, which would have an accent on the c because it's a cedilla, because it's c and an a, to cela. So that's a little bit more formal. Yeah, cela nous pose un problème rather than ça nous pose un problème. Okay. So enjoyment, je m'amuse bien. C'est très amusant. Going around the word in a different way. Okay. If you didn't know how to say enjoy, or it's an excellent thing to do, or when I am bored I do this. Quand je m'ennuie, je fais ça, cela. So think around the problem. To spend time with the family. Passer du temps avec la famille. Can I stress the importance of spending time is passer du temps. J'ai passé in the past. J'ai passé du temps. Je suis passé is être verb move in front of people. Je suis passé devant le magasin il y a 3 heures. I went in front of the shop. I passed in front of the shop. Spend time with family. Spend money is dépenser. Okay? So if you don't know the word to spend, or you know the word and you want to go higher, c'est un bon moment, c'est une bonne occasion de passer du temps, d'être avec la famille, d'être ensemble avec la famille, d'être tous ensemble, to all be together. Notice we can build, notice we can add, okay? So it's nice to be together on holiday. Easy, okay? Typiquement, moi j'aime bien être en vacances avec ma famille, c'est un plaisir, it's a pleasure, c'est un plaisir, ça me rend content, it makes me happy. D'avoir l'occasion, to have the opportunity, d'être avec eux. So we don't want to go long for the sake of going long, but do you see how even really basic ideas coming from this essay can be built up? So, active holidays, healthy. Donc, give me a nice against. So it's nice to eat food and drink and da-da-da-da, but on the other hand, what are my two tips for that always? Use a bien que plus a subjunctive. So, although we can, bien qu'on puisse manger, de boire, de l'alcool, la bouffe, les glaces, ice cream. On the other hand, de l'autre côté, from the other side, de l'autre côté, think you're viewing an argument from two sides, d'un côté, de l'autre côté. Now, it's nice to be able to. So if you want to get a subjunctive in, you know, it's great, c'est fantastique qu'on puisse, c'est fantastique de pouvoir. So if you either want to get the subjunctive in or you don't quite know the subjunctive, remember we can use the infinitive option. C'est fantastique de pouvoir. It's fantastic to be able to. So if you want to get one in, use a que. C'est fantastique qu'on puisse, that one can, or c'est fantastique de pouvoir. So it's great to be healthy on holiday. Okay? La vie saine, de mener une vie plus saine, to lead a healthier lifestyle, de bien manger, de manger correctement, to eat correctly. Souvent les produits locaux. So yeah, you could say often the food in the area or local products. You know, an opportunity to show off the fact that you know les produits locaux masculins. Active holidays, healthy. Okay, c'est une occasion de faire du sport. So souvent, so give me a one and an again. So often our daily lives are very stressful, but when we're on holiday, we have more free time so we can do sport. Souvent, nos vies quotidiennes sont très stressantes, donc quand on est en vacances, ça facilite, ça nous donne l'occasion de faire du sport. Okay, trying to speak really clearly for you. To speak a new language. So, we can speak a language on holiday, beneath you. It allows us to speak a language. It encourages us to speak a language. It obliges us to speak a language. Think a little bit outside the box. Ça nous oblige, ça nous permet, ça nous permet, ça nous encourage. We're obliged to, on est obligé de. Yeah? Go round the question, go find another family. Speak a new language. So souvent, because I'm an A-level student, parce que je suis étudiant, whatever, en tant que, E-N-T-A-N-T-Q-U-E, as a, formal for as a, yeah, I work as a teacher, je travaille en tant que professeur. As an A-level student, as a student, en tant qu'étudiant, I understand the importance of being able to speak a language. Je comprends l'importance de pouvoir parler une langue, okay? To try the new food and customs, we've talked about that, okay? Les coutumes, les habitudes, la culture. So anytime you have verbs like have or see, just think if you were writing an essay in English, what could you do? So either you're going to keep the same verb and play around with it tense-wise, or you're going to knock up the verb. So experience would be expérimenter, avoir le plaisir de voir, to have the seeing of witness, témoigner, or whatever you're going to do. So just think of a slightly more complicated into these things. Opportunity to experience a new culture, l'occasion rather than opportunité. L'occasion would be better. D'avoir accès à, to have access to, or d'accéder, d'avoir accès à une nouvelle culture. To meet new friends, de rencontrer. Now, bit of grammar for you. If you have a day word, like some, but the noun in question has an adjective before it, you are not going to say day, you are going to say de, just a simple de. So, some white houses would be des maisons blanches, okay? Some long legs, de longues jambes, de nombreuses personnes. Let me think of an example. Some new houses, des nouvelles maisons, de nouvelles maisons. It's nicer to drop the S in these occasions. It's more it's a lot more correct. Occasions, it's a lot more correct. Okay? To meet new friends, de rencontrer. So to meet new friends, oui, rencontrer de nouvelles amies, or start new friendships, commencer les nouvelles amitiés. Okay? To have shared experiences, de partager les expériences. Okay? So if you didn't know the word for experience, you could say to do the same thing together, de faire la même chose ensemble, to have something in common, d'avoir quelque chose en commun. Okay? Des expériences communes. Tourism is important economically. Le tourisme c'est important. Now, economically, let's talk about these. Let's talk about how we do this. So, politically, socially, culturally, there are a couple of ways of doing this. So, the first one is to use the adverb. So, we put ment on the end, don't we? So, politiquement, socialement, culturellement, personnellement, économiquement. Yeah, we're going to go with financièrement, économiquement, okay, whatever's going on. Économiquement, these are the adverbs, okay? A nicer way to do this. On a level plus the adjective. Au niveau social, au niveau personnel, au niveau économique, au niveau financier. Notice niveau is masculine. You can see that it's masculine because you've got au niveau. D'un point de vue social, d'un point de vue économique, d'un point de vue culturel, d'un point de vue financier, okay? So you've got on a level political, au niveau politique, politically, politiquement, okay? Or from a political point of view, d'un point de vue politique, okay? 3 ways of talking about this kind of sentence. So on a financial level, it's important. Au niveau financier, ou financièrement, ou d'un point de vue financier, en termes de, in terms of, en termes de. So culturally, let's say en termes de la culture. 4th option. Lovely. Tourism is important economically. Souvent, le tourisme représente beaucoup pour whatever, the place in question. Good, so now I'm just going to give you some, so why yes, why no. Let's have a look at the question again. Sorry, I can't get it all on the page. You've got it in front of you down there, beneath you in the description. So, donnez votre opinion sur l'importance des vacances. So, you can give your first one, so giving opinions, okay? Personnellement, je trouve que les vacances sont super importantes pour les raisons suivantes, for the following reasons, okay? Tout d'abord, first of all, give a nice list. Tout d'abord, souvent notre vie est trop stressante et ça nous fait du bien, cela nous fait du bien, it does us some good, ça nous fait du bien de pouvoir voyager, de pouvoir passer du temps avec notre famille, avec nos familles, plural, with our plural families, okay? However, when it's got, is it simply a question of relaxing or not? When you're asking a question within an essay, yes, you can quote it. Pourquoi? Is it a question simply of relaxing on holiday? You can literally quote it. Mais, you know, est-il or est-ce qu'il est question simplement de se relaxer en vacances? Or we have to ask ourselves the question. Nous devons nous poser la question. Or it would be wise to consider. Ça serait prudent de considérer. If, si, it's, si c'est simplement, si c'était simplement, better, si c'était simplement. So you can modify how you're asking the question. I have to ask myself, we have to ask yourself, you have to ask yourself, je dois, tu dois, nous devons, vous devez. Okay? Why not? So when we talk about the whys and the why nots, there are plenty of reasons which suggest, il y a plein de raisons qui suggèrent, qui confirment, qui constatent que, which make us think, qui nous font penser que, however, pourtant, P-O-U-R-T-N-T, ceci dit, that said, C-E-C-I-D, I-T, new word, par contre, de l'autre côté, okay, également, with an accent, également, il y a plusieurs choses, there are several things, qui sont très utiles. Il y a plusieurs arguments. There are several arguments. So regardless of what topic you're talking about, you know, health, mobile phones, exercise, there's always going to be this, although we can say this, the French which you use to express an argument is going to be the same on both sides. So now let's just talk about me talking with some sentences about this. So, malheureusement, nous avons très peu de temps, nous n'avons pas l'occasion de passer beaucoup de temps avec nos familles. We don't have a lot of time to spend time with our families. Okay? Donc, partir en vacances, ça nous fournit, that provides us, fournir, ça nous donne l'occasion, ça représente l'occasion de, that represents the opportunity, de passer du temps avec nos familles. Okay? There are lots of people who would like to do lots of sport. Il y a beaucoup de personnes qui aimeraient bien faire du sport. Pourtant, however, nos vies nous empêchent de, prevent us, de faire tout ce qu'on aimerait bien faire, all we'd like to do. Donc, lorsqu'on est en vacances, whilst one is on holiday, ou pendant que, c'est le moment idéal, it's the ideal moment right, okay, de s'en profiter, de profiter de. So, I've talked to you about this before. If you've got a reflexive verb, or any verb, which uses de afterwards, and please go and look at this in the videos. So, for example, je m'occupe de, j'ai besoin de, je te parle de, je vous parle de. When you then put the thing first, the object first, you have dont. So, for example, the woman I spoke to you about, la femme dont je t'ai parlé, the project I'm looking after, le projet dont je m'occupe, the woman I spoke to you about, la femme dont je t'ai parlé, le projet dont je m'occupe, the pen I need, le stylo dont j'ai besoin. If you're getting rid of what comes after the verb and the de, okay, so if you've already talked about the holidays, so you're going to say that the holidays I'm going to make the most of, je vais, so if you're going to say I'm going to benefit from them, je vais en profiter, okay? It's a really nice way of talking. So the holidays we need, the time we need, le temps of which, dont nous avons besoin, okay? If you've already mentioned time, new sentence, we need it, on a besoin. So try and get lots of en and dont in your sentences, because it basically buys you words. It stops you having to keep repeating the same thing. Okay? Pour ceux qui apprennent, so if you are learning French, yeah, si tu apprenais le français, or pour ceux qui apprennent, for those who are learning the French, pour ceux qui apprennent le français ou apprennent le français, c'est le moment idéal de pratiquer leur langue. It's the ideal moment to practice their language. Although there are people, try and always get in all those, although there are people in London who see foreign people all the time, bien qu'il y ait, yeah, nice safe subjunctive. If you don't know many verbs in the subjunctive, you learn être and avoir in the subjunctive. So soit, soyons, soyez, soit, ayez, ayant, ayez. Bien qu'il y ait pas mal de personnes, not a bad amount of people, pas mal de personnes qui habitent à Londres, qui voient régulièrement les étrangers, tous les jours. For certain people who live in the countryside, pour certaines personnes qui habitent à la campagne, going on holiday is the only opportunity to practice that language. Partir en vacances, c'est la seule occasion de pratiquer cette langue. Okay? Good. It's important to create lots of memories. So memories are important. We have a nice time. Think what you're saying. What could you say that's so often, the point I'm making is that often the sentences which are slightly more ambitious, it's not that the words and the vocabulary are actually that complicated, it's just you're using it a little bit more sort of poetically. So it's nice to be able to build, it's nice to be able to create memories. C'est sympa de pouvoir créer les souvenirs ensemble, de souder, solder together, la famille. Often families have to go through, terrible experiences. Souvent, les familles doivent affronter Donc, les vacances, ça représente okay? So I hope that's been useful. Keep the three things apart. I think what I'm going to do is start talking about my opinion very quickly at the end. So for me personally, so I'm just going to talk about holidays. It won't necessarily be in the essay format, but I'm just going to talk about holidays as well. Donc personnellement, pour moi, j'adore partir en vacances. I like to go on holiday using partir, not aller, ok? Mais effectivement, moi, j'ai toujours le choix entre trois choses. I've always got the choice between three things. J'ai beaucoup de familles en France que j'aime bien voir. J'aime bien aller les voir, I like to go and see them. Donc souvent, quand j'ai un peu de temps libre, when I've got a bit of free time, j'en profite. I make the most of it. Et c'est un plaisir d'aller les voir. It's a pleasant opportunity to go and see them. Ceci dit, pourtant, on the other hand, moi, je suis très sportif. I'm very sporty. So although that's important, bien que ça soit important, également, on the other hand, de l'autre côté, par contre, je suis très sportif. For example, recently, I went on a horse riding holiday. Par exemple, récemment, j'ai fait un stage d'équitation en France, which allowed me to combine seeing people and doing something sporty, qui m'a permis de combiner, qui m'a permis de voir ma famille, mes proches, et en même temps de faire quelque chose qui me plaît, que j'aime, qui me plaît, which pleases me, ou que j'aime. It was the perfect combination, c'était la combinaison parfaite. Je me suis bien amusé, I enjoyed myself, okay? So it was great, oui, c'était fantastique, easy French for you guys. Je me suis bien amusé, okay? Et souvent, je reste en contact avec des gens, avec des amis. Par exemple, chaque année, normalement, je vais à Lanzarote, I go to Lanzarote. Et à vrai dire, to tell you the truth, à vrai dire, chaque année, quand j'y vais, parce que je suis très grégaire, because I'm very gregarious, parce que je suis très social, très sociable, okay? So you've got social, sociable, any time you can get in a word which is an al, the word would be social, sociable on the social there. But if you've got like an al word, try and make it plural, because then you can show off the aux if it's masculine. So for example, our daily problems, les problèmes quotidiens ou les problèmes normaux, okay? Et moi je suis quelqu'un qui aime bien bouffer, moi j'aime bien manger, moi j'aime bien la cuisine internationale, okay? So I like foreign cuisine, let's make it easier. International cuisine stimulates me, motivates me, interests me. La cuisine internationale m'intéresse, me stimule, me motive. It's something which tempts me, c'est quelque chose qui me tente, c'est quelque chose qui me donne envie d'aller voir le même endroit l'année prochaine. Whatever, so try and go in a different word order with these things. It is very, whatever. No, it motivates me, it inspires me, yeah, it gives me lots of ideas. Ça me donne beaucoup d'idées. Yeah, so really, if you listen to this video again, a lot of what we're saying isn't actually the hardest vocabulary. We are just finding clever little ways of saying it. So I really hope this has been useful. Please do let me know what else you'd like covering in the A-level material specifically. I'm going to do a new video next time on how to augment, how to increase the quality of what you're saying. As in with tricks to get in. But I hope this has been useful. Please click like. Please join our Facebook community, Logic Language Learning, and obviously subscribe to the channel if you are not already subscribed. Those of you who want private tuition, you are more than welcome. Please email me at logiclanguagelearning@gmail.com. I shall speak to you all very soon. Take care.